Alright my friends, if you are watching this episode of Ups and Downs to answer one simple question, which is, was Hell in a Cell 2020 better than that disaster that was known as Hell in a Cell 2019? Well, the answer is yes. Everybody calm down, let's go lie in the bath. Not together, we don't know each other that well, but the point is, we can all just relax. But my name is Simon Miller, and now there's more business to attend to, the Hurt Business. Doesn't even make sense, but we are going to take the finger of power, we're going to go through this pay-per-view, and we're going to give the good bits an up, and we're going to give the bad bits a down. And thankfully, there's a lot of both. Let's do it. I tell you what, WWE has finally found their feet with the Thunderdome. We had all the pyrotechnics here and the sound and the audio quality sounds really good. If you just took a moment and closed your eyes, you could pretend we were living in normal times. Don't do that though, it makes you weird. It's a television show you're meant to watch. You're not Rey Mysterio. There was also a hilarious moment early on where Michael Cole went, "Welcome to hell!" And then he left way too long a gap before he said "in a cell," so it was like he was welcoming you to some kind of demonic party. I don't want to go. On a more negative note, the red Hell in a Cell sucks. I just wanted to get it out there. So every time I'm seeing it, I'm just like, ugh. It's like some kind of jumper your nan got you for Christmas. But forget about all that. Chuck it out the window, because we kick things off with Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso in an I Quit Hell in a Cell stipulation fest. It was for the Universal Championship, and I'm going to tell you this right now. It's not just getting an up. It's getting a golden up. In fact, it's getting a tribal chief. Roman Reigns is getting a tribal chief up. I couldn't stop laughing because if things didn't go well for Jey Uso and he didn't play ball with Roman Reigns, his great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren were still going to be waking up and sitting around the breakfast table and saying to Mummy and Daddy, "Why aren't we allowed to talk to the rest of our relatives?" And they'd be like, "Well, because stupid Jey Uso got us kicked out of the family." That's what Roman said. This was also always going to be brutal because, of course, it was an I Quit match, but my word, the intensity ramped up so quickly. It even started excellently, though, because Roman Reigns, he'd gone crazy. He's just walking around the room going, "Family, family, family." And Jey Uso was like, "Nah, man, family's fine. It's you." And then don't say that to Reigns. He's starting to beat him up. They were brawling around the outside before you could say head of the table, and also WWE did the worst job ever here of bleeping Jey Uso because he went, "I don't quit and the bleep came after he had said the expletive, and then when we got back in the ring, we started to let things play out. In other words, every time Jey Uso would get some momentum, Roman would cut him off with a devastating spear. This sent Reigns even more bonkers because he kept talking to himself going, "Well, I hit him with one spear should keep him down. Why isn't he just staying down?" He was a little bit like Stone Cold Steve Austin when he turned bad guy in 2001, but actually, dare I say it, maybe even more believable because it just makes more sense. And by the time Uso was hitting multiple splashes off the top and the referee was saying, "Roman, do you quit? Do you quit?" He was like, "No, head of the table, head of the table." I was emotionally invested in this. I tell you, go and watch it if you haven't seen it. I have viewed movies that have less narrative than this. Jey was then smashing Roman with a leather strap before we saw another spear, and then Roman had the strap and he was slamming Jey Uso and it sounded like a bomb was going off. So really, WWE snuck a third stipulation in here, because not only was it going on in Hell in a Cell, not only was it I Quit, but yeah, for a good chunk, it was also a strap match. It was too much. The whole point though was that Jey Uso was never going to quit, so when he had fought back and he had the leather strap, he started choking Roman Reigns, and I kid you not, it actually looked like Roman Reigns had been murdered in the middle of the ring. He had drool coming out of his mouth, he was all like looking like that. The ref was like, "Well, I don't really know what to do because this guy's passed out." And then you could just hear a little whisper from Roman's mouth, and you listened in, and he went, "Head of the table," of course. Now, in any real walk of life, this whole thing would have been called off, but it's sports entertainment, and you have to say "I quit" if you want the match to end. Roman Reigns decided he was going to do that by locking in the guillotine choke, but then we had the reverse of what we had just witnessed. Jey Uso was then knocked out cold on the floor, and Roman didn't know what to do. I mean, this match type makes absolutely no sense, but I flubbing love it. Reigns also had a look on his face like he was playing Professor Layton and he couldn't solve the next puzzle. Then I genuinely got really scared, because Roman said to himself, "Well, if he ain't gonna quit, I'm going to take it to the next level." And I got down on my knees. I said, "Roman, please." I was like Paul Heyman. I was like, "Roman, please, please don't take it to the next level." But you know what he did? He took Jey Uso to the outside, he positioned his head next to the ring post, put the steel stairs on the other side of his skull, and then did a drive-by, meaning he pushed the man's face right into some steel. Didn't actually look as graphic as I think WWE wanted it to, but who cares? The meaning behind it? I was doing ballet dancing. The ref then decided he was going to stop it, but thank everything Roman grabbed him and chucked him out the ring. We already screwed up the Hell in a Cell last year, we don't need to do it again. And also, like John Cena said in 2011, somebody's got to win this fight. A bunch of other officials then ran in hoping that their presence would stop this, but that is like trying to turn a light switch off with an orange. It wasn't going to work. So Reigns decided, fine, if he's not going to quit, I will murder him. And as Jey Uso lay on the floor, he got the steel stairs and he was about to smash it right into his skull when Jimmy Uso genuinely appeared from nowhere. He must have come out of the Phantom Zone. I was like, where did he come from? He was protecting his brother though and actually started to say to Roman, you know who this is? This is Josh, which is Jey Uso's real name. Now I know sometimes when wrestling does that it can be really corny and really cheesy, but somehow everybody involved in this feud is just, I don't know, they're just all so believable. They're completely buying in. So I was sat there going, yeah, oh, well, he's Jey Uso in the wrestling world. In the real world, he's Josh. Makes perfect sense to me. Jimmy and Roman also had this amazing moment here that actually felt like they emotionally connected and Reigns was crying. And then, do you know what Roman did? He grabbed Jimmy Uso, the man who's recovering from a serious knee injury, and he started to choke him out. Jey Uso saw this. He said the words, I quit, because he was so worried for his brother, and I mean it, this is some of the best damn shit WWE has done in years. I mean, you had storytelling, you had emotion, you had investment, you had characters, and you had this absolutely incredible shot of Roman Reigns standing over his fallen brethren as he lifted up his title. I will eat at Roman Reigns' table if he ever invites me. So if you are watching Reigns, I'll be there. I'll bow down to you the whole time. We've established that. Just awesome. Arthur and Sika were then on the rampway to greet Roman Reigns as he left, and even though once again that made no sense, I didn't care because they embraced him just to double down on this idea that he is the face of the company, he is the Universal Champion, he is the head of the table. I'm going to stop doing that, but he is the man. Somehow, Jimmy and Jey now have to join Roman in this weird clan thing, and you've got this kind of, I don't even know, this Stockholm Syndrome deal going on. It's the way you got to go. I don't even care. Even if they absolutely screw this up, for what we've had over the last couple of months, it gets a round of applause. As you can probably tell, given how long I just talked about that, I thought this rocked. It was then straight into Jeff Hardy versus Elias, and I audibly said out loud, why do we keep doing this stuff? Down. I mean, what a turnaround that is. Because much like with Sheamus, as soon as Elias came out to do his song, the Ling Ding Ding, his big point was, I don't like Jeff Hardy because he's a drunk. Now look, I get it. If Jeff Hardy is cool with this, that's fine. Who is this bald asshole to say otherwise? But it's just too close to home. And in terms of the timeline, I kind of feel like Jeff Hardy's last incident didn't happen that long ago. Why do you have to bring it into the story? It makes me uncomfortable. If you enjoy it, that's fine, but I'm me and I don't. And it's also another down because the match was utterly pointless. Down. Because they fought for around about 7 minutes and Jeff Hardy was going to win with a swanton bomb. Elias got out of the ring. Jeff Hardy then went down onto the mat as well. Elias went to hit him with a guitar, missed. Jeff Hardy got it, and being the absolute moron he is, he hit Elias with the guitar, and he got disqualified. What a waste of my life. Plus it means we are going to do another match down the line, and I am not excited about it. Sorry. And the sadness then kept on coming, because it was Otis versus The Miz. Down. Now the main reason for this is because of the big surprise we got at the end. I'm very proud to say I actually picked up on this halfway through the match. I don't know what happened, but my brain just triggered and went, I think Tucker is going to turn on Otis. And lo and behold, Tucker did indeed turn on Otis. I know some people enjoyed the surprise, and I'm honestly totally cool with that, but this just screamed of, oh, we can turn someone for the sake of turning someone. But yeah, after John Morrison had gone to hit Otis with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and the ref had seen him and kicked him out, Tucker had it. He smashed his former brother, friend, whatever the hell they are, right in the head. Miz was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. He pinned him, and just to make it even worse, yeah, it means The Miz is now the new Mr. Money in the Bank. And I just thought it was so much more fun when Otis had that privilege. And I groaned when it happened too, simply because I don't want to see Tucker versus Otis. I want to see them as buddies, and I want to see them as pals. And Tucker did explain himself afterwards, and it was that stereotypical nonsense of, well, we were always the team, and I was always the main person in the team, I did all the work, but all the spotlight was on Otis. I couldn't buy into it. I couldn't believe it, because at no point has Tucker seemed pissed off at all. In fact, he has felt like all he's wanted to do is make Otis's life the best thing ever. And yes, I get it. You can then say, but Simon, that's what makes it all the more, oh my God, go and believe it. But I need storytelling, and I need the planting of seeds. And this just felt like someone in the back went, well, we could turn Tucker heel. And Vince McMahon went, yeah, pal, that will be great. That wasn't for me. I tell you what was, though, Sasha Banks versus Bayley. Vicious up. Now the great thing here, because we were going to have 3 Hell in a Cell matches on the show, but Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso was basically more of an I Quit match than a Hell in a Cell match, when we got Sasha and Bayley, they were allowed to do your more traditional Hell in a Cell bout, and they absolutely kicked each other's ass. Sasha and Bayley made the most of that too, because there was weapons, there was chairs, there was tables. At one point, Sasha kind of ran up one of these tables and kneed Bayley's head right into the steel. There is no way they woke up this morning feeling particularly spruce moose. This continued too, and Banks was just waylaying Bayley with these kendo shots that sounded absolutely disgusting. Then she climbed to the top rope, she went for a frog splash, and Bayley made a chair appear from nowhere, and Sasha smashed right into it. Because why the hell not? And then poof, up, there's the ladder. What the hell was this too? I mean, Bayley placed the ladder on 2 chairs, got some spray paint, drew an X onto her former best friend, I suppose in case she forgot where the target was. She then went for the top, she went for a move, Sasha Banks got out of the way, meaning Bayley, because she was holding a chair, not only went careering into the ladder, but the chair smashed right in her face. I said, ow. They continued to kill each other, including trading Bayley to bellies, until Sasha finally got the bank statement on, but she followed up what she did on SmackDown. She got a chair and essentially wrapped that around Bayley's skull to make it even worse, and after like 7,000 days as SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley tapped out. Sasha Banks is your new title holder. This is something, much like the first match, you need to go out of your way to see. Absolutely faboo. And yeah, I get it, this was absolutely bizarre given it's the first match in the feud and it feels like we've already blown the whole thing off, so how we get to round 2 I don't know. Maybe you can come up with a stipulation that whoever loses has to leave the family. Wait, no, we've done it. Jokes aside though, these two lived up to all the expectations in the world. It was flipping good. Okay, right, let's get this done. During the pre-show, Retribution and Ali had told the Hurt Business, you pick any of your guys and we'll pick any of our guys and we'll have a match later on. Long story short, it was Bobby Lashley taking on Slapdick, Slapjock, Slapjack, whatever his name is. And then, of course, Slapjack lost after he tapped out to the Hurt Lock. Because of course he did. And then a bunch of other dudes from Retribution came in, but Bobby Lashley fought them off. And then the Hurt Business came down afterwards, and they chased away Ali. And Retribution, as far as I'm concerned, are absolute pants down. They all started to stare at each other afterwards, but why the hell you would continue this program on, I don't know. And in fact, the only reason WWE is going to do it is because Survivor Series is next month and you have the relevant numbers. But why would you be scared of Retribution at this stage unless you are an electrician? They have turned up and done the grand total and nothing. I feel really sorry for Ali. He's so damn good. He gets put in a big position and just thrown away. Somebody explain this to me. Our main event was then Hell in a Cell Round 3, or Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. And I will say this was the least best of the trio, but I'm saying least best because it's still pretty good. And if you're trying to wondering how we put a spin on this one, we've already talked about Sasha and Bayley and Roman and Jey, well here it was time to go back to the future. Nope, done it again. It was time to go back to the top. Orton didn't get an entrance here because he had dressed back up as Sam Fisher in order to attack Drew McIntyre during his, and before we did go to the top in the Hell in a Cell, once more, these two just pounded the hell out of each other. The problem was, even though we saw things like suplexes through tables that were balanced against the side of the Hell in a Cell, we'd already seen so much that it's just how it works, isn't it? If I wave at you once, you're like, oh, he waved at me. If I wave at you 20 times, and the 20th one, you're like, well, it's nice that I'm still getting a wave, but maybe we could do something else. That's why you shouldn't have 3 Hell in a Cell matches on the same show. So this did all lead to them getting out of the cell because Randy Orton got those bolt cutters again, and Byron Saxon's reaction to this was, well, I wonder what he's going to do with those. And I was like, dude, stop. How can you not figure it out? A child could figure it out. And we also need to kind of stop doing this because it completely reduces what the Hell in a Cell was built for. It was to trap two people inside. Now everybody's getting out like it's kindergarten. Also, why did they go to the top? I don't know, and the whole reason is simply because when The Undertaker and Mick Foley did it 22 years ago, it looked really cool. Shame on me. Here we are in 2020, and yes, it still looks really cool. Orton's plan when we got up there too was just to hit Drew McIntyre in the balls with a pipe. And as soon as he had done that, so Drew was like, oh, my testicles, Randy Orton started climbing back down. If you take this out of context, it was truly bizarre. It also got even more crazy because as they were climbing back down, they started to play Super Mario World. Do you remember when Mario used to climb on that red fence? But Randy hit Drew McIntyre's arm and he fell from pretty much the top or halfway up and he went crashing through a table. It doesn't matter how many times I see that, I will always wince. It was like a bomb going off. We then built to the finish and it was kind of unexpected because Drew McIntyre went for the Claymore kick, he missed, Randy Orton turned it into an RKO, 1, 2, 3. We have a brand new WWE champion. His name is Randy Orton. So I guess that's why we went the extra month with this feud, because I thought we were going to pay it off 4 weeks ago. So we're going to have to wait and see. But it's not a massive problem that Drew McIntyre lost to Randy Orton because it's flipping Randy Orton. I'm just confused as to what the next step is. But look, like I say, even though there was a bit of, oh, how are we going to get away with 3 Hell in a Cell matches? And it is still too much. All of them offered something different. All of them were pretty good. And overall, Hell in a Cell 2020 is getting an up. And that's a massive achievement because Hell in a Cell 2019 overall got a brown down. Now don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's Hell in a Cell. Like the video, share the video and subscribe. Head over to WhatCulture.com where you can read more about Hell in a Cell. Follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE for updates about Raw and SmackDown and everything else. And watch more videos here on WhatCulture Wrestling. My name is Simon for WhatCulture. Thank you for joining me as always. And the run of ups and downs continues tomorrow with Raw ups and downs. So make sure you join me for the journey. Friday was Retro ups and downs, Saturday was SmackDown ups and downs, Sunday was Bound for Glory ups and downs, we've just done Hell in a Cell, tomorrow we do Raw, and then, and only then, I rest.